Big Juke, who's Yo Gotti's older brother, just got killed after leaving a funeral.
In 2024, shots rang out in the parking lot of a Memphis restaurant. Within minutes, Big Juke, the older brother of hip-hop mogul Yo Gotti, lay bleeding on the concrete. But a new video on the street just revealed Yo Gotti finally took justice into his own hands and got revenge on the killer. We have all the gist, let's get into it. The rise of Big Juke and the Memphis Empire. To understand what happened on that January afternoon, we need to go back, way back, to the streets of Memphis, Tennessee, where two brothers were building something that would change the city's music scene forever. Anthony Mims, known to everyone as Big Juke, wasn't just Yo Gotti's older brother, he was the backbone of an empire. While Mario Yo Gotti Mims became the face of Collective Music Group, signing platinum-selling artists like Moneybagg Yo, ESTG, and Glorilla, Big Juke operated behind the scenes as a project manager and talent scout, the man who kept the machine running. His Instagram wasn't filled with flexing or showing off. Instead, it was dedicated almost entirely to promoting CMG events and artists. He was the connector, the facilitator, the one who made sure the business side of things kept moving while his younger brother collected accolades and chart positions. But in Memphis, success comes with a price, and that price often gets paid in blood. The story of Big Juke cannot be told without mentioning the man whose shadow looms over everything that followed, Young Dolph. Adolph Thornton Jr., better known as Young Dolph, was everything the Memphis rap scene needed and feared at the same time. He was independently wealthy, fiercely loyal to his Paper Route Empire label, and absolutely uncompromising in his vision. When Yo Gotti came calling around 2014, offering Dolph a chance to join CMG, Dolph did something almost unheard of in the music industry. He said no.
If it's something about you I just don't respect, bro, I can't sit and fake and act like it's all good.
That's understandable.
Know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like the first time I even met Lil Dude, go in the studio. First time. He sent everybody out the studio. Like, let me holler at Dolph. Like, man, you got your own everything, bro. You popping. Like, but you got the money, you got your team, you got this, you got that. You're like, bro, I'm telling you, we can do this.
That rejection didn't sit well, and what started as a business disagreement slowly festered into something far more dangerous. The feud between Yo Gotti and Young Dolph became the stuff of Memphis legend. It wasn't just about record deals anymore. It was about pride, territory, and who could legitimately claim the title of King of Memphis. In February 2016, Young Dolph released his debut album, literally titled King of Memphis, on the exact same day Yo Gotti dropped The Art of Hustle. The message was clear. This wasn't just competition, this was war.
I'm
over, and I looked into this beef. I was really trying to figure out the Yo Gotti Young Dolph beef.
Supposedly. Right.
Some people say it was over a girl. Some people say Gotti wanted to sign Dolph and Dolph didn't want to sign.
Right.
Some people say, well, both of them had crews that were into some street shit or whatever. All this sounds very unnecessary for it to turn to murder and life sentences.
The disrespect went both ways, but Dolph took it to another level. In 2017, he released Play With Yo, a track so vicious it mocked Yo Gotti, calling him Ho Gotti, and featured a Gotti lookalike being humiliated in the music video. The song didn't just attack Gotti, it went after Big Juke specifically.
There was a very vicious diss song where Dolph was dissing Gotti's brother, Big Juke, who obviously has become a big part of this. He's obviously his life was taken in the end. But, that was one side of the beef. Dolph dropped that very, very vicious diss track. What was it? I think it's called Play With Your Bitch.
Yeah.
Absolutely tore Big Juke and Yo Gotti apart. He had the body double in the video. That was fighting talk right there.
In Memphis, words like that don't just fade away. They echo through the streets, through the housing projects, through the trap houses and the studios, and they demand a response. The response came in bullets. In February 2017, Young Dolph's bulletproof SUV was sprayed with over 100 rounds while he was in Charlotte, North Carolina. Miraculously, Dolph emerged without a scratch and performed his concert that same night. The incident inspired his album Bulletproof and the single 100 Shots, turning what should have been a tragedy into a marketing triumph. Black Youngsta, a CMG artist, was among those initially charged in connection with the shooting. The charges were eventually dropped, but the message from Dolph's camp was clear. Someone on Gotti's side had tried to take him out, and they had failed. Then, in September 2017, Dolph was shot multiple times outside the Loews Hollywood Hotel in Los Angeles. Yo Gotti was staying at the same hotel at the time, and initial reports named him as a person of interest. The LAPD later cleared Gotti, but his associate Corey McClendon was arrested for attempted murder before before being released without charges. Through all of this, Dolph survived. He kept making music, he kept making money, and he kept talking. But Big Jook, according to prosecutors, he was keeping score. What allegedly happened next would only come to light years later in a Memphis courtroom when a man on trial for his life started naming names. Prosecutors alleged that Big Jook, frustrated by years of disrespect and failed attempts on Dolph's life, decided to put a price on his rival's head, $100,000 for whoever could finally silence young Dolph. And allegedly, he wasn't stopping there. Court documents that surfaced during the trial revealed a hit list. Young Dolph topped it at $100,000. Key Glock, Dolph's cousin and the second biggest artist on Paper Route Empire, was allegedly worth $50,000. Other PRE members had smaller bounties. PRE Wu at $50,000, Snoop Bands at $20,000, and Moochie Grape at $5,000.
As more information is coming out, there was a list of people that Big Jook, allegedly put hits on.
Yeah.
Like you said, Young Dolph was $100,000. Key Glock, who's the second biggest artist on the label, was $50,000. PRE Wu, $50,000. Snoop Bands, $20,000, and Moochie Grape, $5,000. So he was allegedly putting hits on a whole bunch of people.
If these allegations were true, Big Jook wasn't just involved in the music business. He was running a one-man war against Paper Route Empire. And on November 17th, 2021, someone finally collected on the biggest bounty of them all: the murder of young Dolph and the trial that changed everything. November 17th, 2021, the day before Thanksgiving. Young Dolph pulled up to Makita's Homemade Butter Cookies, a small bakery in South Memphis that he'd visited countless times before. He was in town for his annual turkey giveaway, giving back to the community that had raised him. He walked in alone, looking to buy some of his favorite cookies. He never walked out. Two men emerged from a stolen white Mercedes-Benz, armed with a semi-automatic rifle and a handgun. They opened fire through the bakery's window, striking Dolph 22 times. The attack was captured on surveillance video, a cold, calculated assassination in broad daylight. Memphis went into shock. Tributes poured in from across the music industry, but in certain corners of the city, people weren't mourning, they were celebrating. The investigation moved fast. By January 2022, police had arrested two men they believed were the shooters: Justin Johnson, an aspiring rapper who went by Straight Drop, and Cornelius Smith. A third man, Hernandez Govan, was charged as the alleged mastermind, the one who put the hit together, and Justin Johnson's half-brother, Jamarcus Johnson, was charged as an accessory. But the question everyone wanted answered wasn't who pulled the trigger, it was why, and more importantly, who had ordered it. That answer came in September 2024, when Justin Johnson's trial finally began. What unfolded in that Memphis courtroom was nothing short of explosive. Cornelius Smith, facing his own murder charges and staring down a potential life sentence, made a decision that would shake the foundations of Memphis hip-hop. He agreed to testify against his co-defendant, and what he said changed everything. Smith testified that he and Justin Johnson had been recruited by Hernandez Govan to carry out a hit, a $100,000 contract that allegedly came directly from Big Jook. According to Smith, the money was supposed to be split, $40,000 for each of the shooters, with Govan taking a finder's fee.
Jook's the money man calling the shots. Quet puts you and Justin together.
Right.
And you and Justin are cool with each other and interact with each other over the months. You said at least 5 times. You're trying to, now we're back after the murder, you're trying to get your money.
Right.
You're having conversations with Justin, is that correct?
Yeah, I was teasing his phone like, you know what I'm saying? I need their money for the party, you know what I'm saying?
But here's where the story takes an even darker turn. According to Smith's testimony, the promised payday never materialized. Instead of $40,000, he received a grand total of $800, $500 delivered in a letter from someone using Justin Johnson's phone, and another $300 handed to his girlfriend on a street corner.
This is from Justin's folks.
Yeah, this was just before.
All right, so now we've been paid about $800.
Yeah,
Is that right?
yeah.
$800 for Z taking a man's life. Smith also dropped another bombshell. He claimed that after the murder, someone from CMG paid $50,000 for his legal representation. When pressed on who exactly arranged this payment, Smith admitted he didn't know specifically, but maintained the money came from Gotti's label. Shelby County Deputy District Attorney Paul Hagerman painted a picture of calculated murder driven by ego and industry rivalry. According to prosecutors, Big Jook had invited Justin Johnson to Atlanta, dangling the promise of a CMG TV recording contract. The message was clear: eliminate the competition and you'll be rewarded with fame and fortune. The prosecution argued this wasn't just street violence. It was a corporate hit dressed up as gang activity. CMG versus PRE, label versus label. And young Dolph was the prize that had to be removed from the board. Smith testified that he and Johnson had tracked Dolph's movements during his Thanksgiving turkey giveaway events, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. They knew his schedule. They knew his habits. They knew he'd be vulnerable without heavy security. When asked why he did it, why he helped murder a man who had never wronged him personally, Smith's answer was chillingly simple. He said he was trying to get some money amid personal struggles, including his son's death and drug use. The murder happened on his daughter's birthday. He said he did it to make it rain for her. Justin Johnson's attorney, Luke Evans, attacked Smith's credibility relentlessly. He pointed out that Smith was testifying in hopes of receiving a reduced sentence, that every word out of his mouth was calculated to save his own skin. Evans argued that the evidence was circumstantial. Yes, there was surveillance footage. Yes, the clothing matched. But could the jury really trust the word of a self-admitted killer who had everything to gain from pointing the finger at someone else? In the end, the jury didn't buy it. On September 26, 2024, Justin Johnson was found guilty of first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and being a felon in possession of a firearm. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The trial had answered some questions. Justin Johnson would spend the rest of his life behind bars. Cornelius Smith's fate remained uncertain. Hernandez Govan was still awaiting trial, but the man allegedly at the top of the conspiracy, the one who supposedly put up the money and called the shots, Big Jook was dead. He had been killed 9 months before the trial even began, before he could ever be questioned, charged, or held accountable for the allegations against him. And that killing, it remains unsolved to this day.
And then ultimately he got killed himself.
Yeah. And, not just killed, but like the way that he was killed was, very gruesome and brutal. They caught him after a funeral. There was a rumor going around that the shooting happened in front of his mother. And, the footage of Jook bleeding out on the ground was even circulating on social media. So it was a very gruesome way.
The assassination and the unanswered questions. January 13th, 2024, a Saturday afternoon in Memphis. Big Jook had just attended the funeral of Eric Bovan, a relative who had once been known as a Memphis cocaine kingpin. The family gathered afterward at Perignon's Restaurant and Event Center on Winchester Road in Hickory Hill for the repast, the traditional meal that follows a funeral service. According to police reports, an officer in the area heard multiple gunshots around 4:15 p.m. When they arrived at the scene, they found 2 victims with multiple gunshot wounds. Big Jook, 47 years old, was rushed to the hospital. He was pronounced dead shortly after arrival. A second victim survived and was listed in stable condition.
Tonight, police are looking for a white Ford Explorer SUV in connection with the shooting. It has dark tinted windows and black wheels. A witness told police they saw suspects in the SUV speeding away, and surveillance video also shows this.
The suspects fled in a white Ford Explorer with dark tinted windows and black wheels. Surveillance cameras captured the vehicle speeding away. Police released photos, appealing to the public for information, and then nothing. As of August 2025, the Memphis Police Department has not identified any suspects. No arrests have been made. The investigation, according to official statements, remains ongoing. But in a city where surveillance cameras captured the getaway vehicle, where witnesses saw the shooting happen, where the victim was a high-profile figure whose death made national news, how is it possible that no one has been charged? Some believe the answer lies in the code of the streets. Others suspect something darker.
Man,
But
I don't understand why that whole family even stays in Memphis anymore.
I totally agree with you.
I think that if there wasn't, because
no one thought about that. You're absolutely right.
it's time to go.
It's time to go.
It's time to go. Because, I think like one of Yo Gotti's restaurants got shot up right afterwards. It's
Yeah,
like, all right,
I remember that.
this has gone way past the level of talking it out. People are dead. It's time to go. Yo Gotti has enough money to move everyone he cares about out of there.
Yes, right.
And not go back.
Perhaps the most haunting detail of Big Jook's death is what he posted on Instagram just one day before he was killed. On January 12, 2024, Big Jook shared a photo with a caption that now reads like a prophecy. They don't want to face you, they want to snake you. Stay alert too, stay alive, watch your back at all times. 24 hours later, he was dead. Did Big Jook know something was coming? Had he received threats? Or was this simply the mindset of a man who had lived his entire adult life in the crosshairs of street violence? We may never know. In the absence of official answers, speculation has run rampant. The timing of Big Jook's death, coming after years of allegations about his role in Young Dolph's murder, but before he could ever face formal charges, has led many to draw their own conclusions.
Sometimes you hear these hip-hop stories, these drill gangster stories where people go back and forth. I mean, even the King Von situation, you know, there's a pretty twisted poetic irony in the fact that, you know, Duck got killed on camera and these guys were laughing about it for months. Next thing you know, Von's dying on camera, you know, damn near in the same kind of way. And you know, for that to have happened to Dolph and Jook, you know, it just shows that if that's the energy you put out, that's the energy that can come back around for you.
Some point to social media activity from individuals associated with Paper Route Empire after Jook's death, posts that seem to celebrate rather than mourn, cryptic messages about dolphins and seasons. Others dismiss this as reading too much into typical social media noise.
Yeah, and you know, there was a lot of really bad talk that happened leading up to it. You know, if you look on YouTube, Big Jook was laughing about Young Dolph on live. You know, CMG don't miss twice. You know, talking about snakes and stuff like that. And you know, I don't know if it has anything to do with Dolph. I have no idea. You know, from the outside looking in though, that's what it unfortunately appears to be.
Music manager Wack 100 publicly warned Yo Gotti after the trial revelations, suggesting that federal authorities might pursue RICO charges against CMG, treating the label as a criminal enterprise. As of now, no such charges have materialized. Throughout all of this, the trial, the allegations, his brother's murder, Yo Gotti has remained largely silent. He has not issued any public statements addressing the claims made during the Young Dolph murder trial. CMG has not commented on the allegations that the label paid for Cornelius Smith's legal fees, and Yo Gotti has never publicly addressed his brother's death beyond the initial period of mourning. Some see this silence as the smart legal move. Don't say anything that could be used against you later. Others interpret it as guilt, or at least complicity. Still others believe Yo Gotti is simply grieving in private, trying to protect what remains of his family from further tragedy. When Big Jook was finally laid to rest, the scene was unlike anything Memphis had ever witnessed for a funeral. Helicopters circled overhead. Snipers were positioned on rooftops. Police presence was overwhelming. The message was clear. Whatever happened to Big Jook, Yo Gotti and his family were not taking any chances with the funeral.
How do we stop that cycle? Because I heard Rick Ross call and say, bro, let's put the guns down. Let's put the masks down. Let's come together.
Yeah.
Let's build these communities. Let's get this paper together. Let's stop this senseless violence. How?
I don't know. I don't think that shit ever would stop. It's just my opinion. Like, people been killing forever.
Mm-hmm.
That shit just life.
21. Savage's words hit hard because they reflect a truth that no one wants to admit. In certain corners of the hip-hop world, violence has become so normalized that many have simply accepted it as the cost of doing business. Young Dolph is dead, Big Jook is dead, Justin Johnson will die in prison, and the cycle continues.
Obviously, look, it's so tragic for everybody involved, for the families, for the fans. You know, just think of all the amazing music that the world's missing out on because Dolph's no longer with us. Who knows what's going to happen on the other side? You never know. Yo Gotti might get wrapped up in this and end up serving a long sentence in jail. That's another person that's not releasing music, not supporting for their people. And like you say, you know, not to disrespect anyone, but it is kind of childish. It is kind of immature when you think about, you know, what were you put on this earth for?
As we close this story, the questions remain. Who killed Big Jook? Will anyone ever be charged? And is there any end in sight to the bloodshed that has claimed so many lives in Memphis? The investigation remains open. The Memphis Police Department continues to ask anyone with information to contact Crime Stoppers. But in a city where silence is survival, where snitching can get you killed, and where the bodies keep piling up on both sides of a decade-long war, justice may never come. Click on one of the cards on your screen to see more videos like this.